Hi, and thank you for watching. On today's show,
we got this bad boy right here, which is the AVIC 7100 NEX navigation system from Pioneer. Brand new 2015 product. Stay tuned. Okay, so let's open this up and take a look at it, shall we, Fernando? Ooh, Fernando. Tell me your name again. Alright, so we have a whole bunch of stuff. And to start, we have the navigation antenna.
Okay, tenemos la antena de navegación.
This guy comes with the 1/8 inch extension. That's a male and female on one end.
Tenemos la extensión del auxiliar.
It comes with one of the two USB inputs. Extensions. Yeah, whatever.
Tenemos la extensión del USB.
Comes with a Bluetooth microphone.
Tenemos el micrófono.
Comes with a bag of screws.
Tornillos.
And of course a wiring harness.
Y el cable principal.
Now it also has a quick start guide / owner's manual.
Y tenemos papeles.
And then the real owner's manual. That's right. And it's not a movie.
Y este, por supuesto, es el manual de instrucciones.
Let's get this thing out of the box. Take a look back. Alrighty. Alright, so to start out, we got a couple cables here hanging out, so we'll just get those out of the way. Alright, so the first one on the top here is going to be the front audio out for an amplifier.
Ok, so tenemos la salida de audio frontal.
The next one is going to be the rear audio out for an amplifier.
Y tenemos la salida de audio trasera.
And because we're talking about those, the subwoofer is located right here.
Y esa es la salida del subwoofer.
Now this radio is a 6-volt pre-output, so 6 volts? I'm sorry, 4 volt.
4 volt.
6-channel 4 volt.
Yes.
Duh. Okay, so it's a 4 volt pre-output.
So recuerden que este tiene 4 voltios, 6 salidas de RCAs.
Alright, so we have the audio input right here. This would be for some form of an external device.
Ok, so tenemos la entrada de audio.
And then there's also a video input.
So tenemos entrada de video.
Now this video input is also selectable as a front or other camera input.
So este también puede utilizarse para la cámara frontal o para otro tipo de source.
Then we have the mute input. This would be if you have a car with like OnStar or something, you'd need to use that guy.
Okay.
Alright, moving on. Alright, so hiding behind here we have the microphone input.
So tenemos la entrada del micrófono.
We have the antenna input.
So tenemos la entrada de la antena.
We have the auxiliary input.
La entrada del auxiliar.
We have the wired remote control input.
So tenemos la entrada para controlar las funciones del volante.
We have the Sirius XM input.
Y tenemos la entrada para Sirius XM.
We have the Maestro Link input.
La entrada para el Maestro Link.
The power plug.
Y la entrada para el cable principal.
Alright, now over here we have the rear audio out.
So tenemos el audio, la salida de audio.
Yeah, exactly. And then we have the rear video out.
Y obviamente tenemos el video, la salida de video.
Now what these can be used for is for dual zone. So if you're going to add headrests or an overhead, these will feed a video source to it.
Ok, so eso también lo puedes utilizar para pantallas y eso te pasaría la señal.
And just a note, the HDMI is not capable of passing through these two outputs.
Y obviamente el HDMI no es compatible para pasar con esos dos.
You have your regular rear view camera input right here.
Y tenemos la entrada de la cámara.
You have the navigation antenna input right here.
Tenemos la entrada para la antena de la navegación.
You have Pioneer's dedicated RGB input.
Obviamente tenemos la entrada para el
RGB.
Yes.
Exactly. And then right here, you have USB 1. Now this is going to be for Apple CarPlay.
Obviamente tenemos dos tipos de USB. La primera es para CarPlay.
And then USB 2, which is either going to be for iPod 2 or Android Auto.
Y obviamente el USB 2 sería para el Android Auto o para el iPod.
And then way up here, this guy, this is where all the magic happens. This is the HDMI input.
So tenemos la entrada del HDMI.
Okay, so that would be the back of this bad boy. A lot of stuff going on in a little tiny spot, huh? It's tight. Let's pack it in there. All right, we're going to flip it around and power it up and show you what she does on the other side. You first power it up. The first thing it's going to ask you is what language do you want this unit to give you, or set up, or menuize. There you go, menuize. Made a new word. So let's take a look at those first.
Okay.
We have English, Espanol, Portuguese, French fries, and Chinese. So you can pick any one of those, and it'll change all the menus to the text corresponding to the... Yeah, you get the idea. Let's move it going. I'm tongue twisted here. Oh,
Okay.
Go ahead.
So recuerden que tenemos 5 tipos de lenguajes.
Now, one of the new features this year is this menu right here. This is the smartphone setup. It had it last year, but they've changed it to a more pleasing, easier to use look.
Ok, so este año tenemos un nuevo menú para el setup de tu teléfono.
Now, what you're going to use this for is what type of phone you have. So, do you have an iPhone or do you have an Android phone, which would be other? If you have an iPhone, you have 3 methods of hookup: USB 1, digital AV adapter, and Bluetooth. You also do you want CarPlay on and off. Now, CarPlay is only available on USB 1. There, at present, is no other option. You can also, on Android, it's going to be USB 2. And there you go, Android Auto. Skip that one, or off. And then you have your choice of HDMI or Bluetooth. And there again, Android Auto is only available to you when you're on USB 2. So we'll just stick with the factory default settings and we'll move forward. This is the wonderful warning screen, and as Pioneer likes to put it, as long as we have lawyers, you're going to have a warning screen.
Yep.
There's no way to just do it once and forget. Okay, so let's talk about the screen a little bit. This is a brand new screen this year. This is a 7-inch LED backlit, clear resistive screen. It's new and shiny this year. It's designed to look more like a capacitive touch.
Ok, so recuerden que este tiene 7 pulgadas, pantalla táctil, con una pantalla mucho más brillante.
Alright, it's a motorized display, and behind it we have no GPS. No kidding. And behind it we have the CD. We have the CD, DVD slot, as well as the SD card slot, as well as this guy over here, which is the auto EQ mic, which is used for setting up. We'll get to that later. Right.
Ok, so recuerden que esta es una pantalla motorizada de 7 pulgadas. Tenemos el CD, el DVD, obviamente tiene SD card y tiene la entrada para el micrófono para audio auto.
Now the other options it gives you is tilt screen. So if you tap that, it'll go ahead and tilt the screen to help reduce glare. Alright. Now, it's a multicolor and it has 5 different display colors.
So recuerden que tiene una pantalla multicolor y tenemos 5 tipos de colores.
As well as, here's background colors. Oh, sorry. Themes. These are the themes here. So depending on which one you want, it's going to change the colored background.
So esos son los 5 que tenemos.
You also have matching for the buttons down here on the bottom, as well as you can design your own color for them.
Y para los botones de abajo tenemos obviamente que es multicolor.
And then you also have backgrounds, new backgrounds this year, as well as some of the old ones. This is everyone's favorite, Joy. As well as these icons right here and here are so you can import your own via the USB.
Ok, eso tenemos obviamente las pantallas y puedes agregar tu una, obviamente con un USB.
Alright, it also has a new brightness and dimmer controls. So this radio's AM/FM tuner uses Pioneer's new, do you know what it is?
No, tell me.
It's the Super Tuner 3D.
Super Tuner 3D.
3D, yeah.
Okay.
So that means it has AM/FM as well as FM and AM HD. AM/FM HD.
Okay.
Now for those of you not familiar with HD, I'm going to show you how it works real quick.
Okay. So recuerden que este tiene a HD Radio y obviamente Pioneer tiene un nuevo que se llama Super Tuner 3D.
Now if you notice we're on a station over here, it says analog right here. Alright, so if we go to and it lights up HD, you wait until the analog goes away and it'll come up and it'll say digital. Now when it does that, when it does that, the RDS tuner will kick in, which is what's going to give you this text right here. Some stations will also populate this with album artwork. But what you're looking at is where it says HD1 right there. If you tap the guy there, it'll bring up a totally different station from what you were just listening to. Now you can make those presets by pressing and holding. And then when you're on another station and you go back to an HD, it's going to come up and say linking, which is what it does to connect to an HD channel. Now HD radios will sound different than what you're used to. Supposedly they have a much cleaner, more defined sound. Some people love them, some people don't. Now not every area has HD, and of course you can turn off the HD feature if it's causing you issues. This unit has Bluetooth, of course, like any other radio would nowadays. This has both Bluetooth for streaming audio as well as phone. Now what's cool about the Bluetooth phone that this comes with, I'm having a tough time today apparently, is this uses Pioneer's new wideband speech recognition, which basically means it has near double the amount of frequency bandwidth that it had in previous models. So you get a much wider bandwidth for your mouth. The sounds that come out of your mouth sounds a lot crisper, cleaner. You don't sound like you're in a tin can.
Ok, so recuerden que este tiene Bluetooth y tiene una banda mucho más ancha para la música y obviamente para las llamadas. So para que tu voz no suene demasiado lejos o algo, suena bien claro y muy bueno.
Alright, so now as far as making calls go, Jesus, I know, right? As far as making calls go, there's a couple ways you can do it. So let's take a look at that. You tap the little phone icon over here. Now we've already taken the liberty of pairing up the Bluetooth. You can scroll through your contacts. Okay. You can view ingoing, outgoing calls. Or you can dial a number. And then this little guy right here is for hands-free voice dialing. So what this will do in this case is this will launch Siri Eyes Free. And for the Android people, it'll try to launch whatever Eyes Free app you are running for Android. So if you tap it, call Fernando.
Calling Fernando Lopez.
No! You get the idea. It'll go ahead and call him.
Okay.
We'll back away. Go ahead.
Ok, so recuerden que en realidad este tiene el sistema de voz, la partecita de aquí, eso es lo que hace que active el Siri Eyes Free para las personas que tienen iPhone y para las personas que tienen Android activa ahora sí que lo de Google o algo así que Android tiene.
Okay, now for Bluetooth audio, it gives you the option to do Pandora, as well as the music you have on your phone. And that means whatever streaming service you're using, if you're in the Bluetooth audio portion of it, it'll just go ahead and stream it. So if you're listening, keyword listening to like YouTube Music or iHeartRadio or any other app, Spotify, you can do it through Bluetooth audio. It'll give you basic track up and down in whatever playlist you're in. And then of course it has full control for Android. Now, because of that, you can tap this little icon here, and you can see all your radio stations, and you can easily switch between them. You can also go ahead and use Pandora station creation, but we won't show that. We have a video on it. And there, it'll populate. Now, one thing of note, you have something to say?
No.
Okay, sure?
Yeah.
Okay. One thing of note, if you'll notice when you're in Pandora, it's displaying the album artwork. If you go over to Bluetooth audio, no displaying of the album artwork. Okay? So that's a question we get quite a lot. I don't know why it does that. It's capable of it, but for some reason it just doesn't. Android phones, it's on a phone per phone basis as far as whether or not you're going to get your album artwork on the radio there.
Ok, so recuerden que las personas que escuchan la música en Pandora aparece el álbum en la pantalla, pero si lo haces vía Bluetooth obviamente desaparece. No sabemos por qué, pero en realidad así trabaja.
Alright, so a couple other things that these radios will do. As we said earlier, it will do CarPlay for Apple, and it'll do Android Auto for the Android phones. Now, pretty much any iPhone that has the Lightning connector on it will do, and is running the latest 8 point whatever. You'll get, well, who knows when they're watching this. You'll get CarPlay. It's real simple to do. All you got to do is take your phone, plug it in.
There.
That's it. Unlock your phone. You got CarPlay. There you go. CarPlay's on. How exciting. Hit the home button. There you go. If you want to know more about CarPlay, check out our video on it. Now, Android Auto, it's a little bit different. There's a couple qualifications you need. For one, you need an Android Auto compatible phone. Now, we're shooting this in April. Android Auto's only been out for a month, and there's very few phones that will do it. So we're not even going to get into the phones you need or whatever. Basically, you need a phone that's running 5.0 or higher. I believe it's up to 5.1 now because they've already had to fix things, which is Lollipop. And then the only other thing you need is that you need to download the app, and when you download the app, it'll take you through other apps that you download, as well as on the radio itself, like we said earlier, you use USB 2. Don't plug it into USB 1, it won't work, USB 2, and what you're plugging into USB 2 is the standard mini USB adapter that comes with the phone when you buy it. Just plug it in, launch the app. You're also going to pair your Bluetooth. That's an important thing. CarPlay, you don't have to pair the Bluetooth if you don't want to. Android Auto, you do have to pair your Bluetooth. Okay.
Ok, so recuerden, CarPlay trabaja con iPhone. Simplemente con un solo cable conectas y aparece CarPlay. Deslaqueas tu teléfono y todo. Para las personas que tienen Android, es un poquito... no más difícil, pero otro tipo de paso. Tienes que bajar 2 tipos de aplicaciones, aceptarlos, tienes que conectarte el Bluetooth de tu teléfono hacia el radio para que puedas hacerlo. Y igual lo mismo, conectas el cable que viene desde tu teléfono para cargarlo de tu teléfono y lo conectas en el USB número 2.
Hot damn. Okay, so the only other thing that, as far as other medias that it'll play, which is new this year, which is really cool, is over the USB, you can use FLAC files.
Okay.
You can play FLAC. For those of you who don't know what FLAC is, it's a much higher compression, and it's basically just sounds really awesome. Go ahead and look it up online, dig into it. Might be something you're into if you're into the whole sound quality thing, because not everyone is anymore. But if you are, check out FLAC. It'll play it through the USB.
No, good.
Good? Okay. So, now let's talk about the audio before we get to the navigation, because after all, this is a navigation unit. This has the full package of NEX audio. We're going to go over it real quick. We have a video that goes really deep into it. But to sum it up, it's got a 13-band EQ. It has... oh, hell, let's just look at it.
Okay.
All right. Why don't you give them yours?
So recuerden que en realidad vamos a trabajar rapidito en el EQ. Tenemos un video directamente de NEX que en realidad trabaja en el EQ. Tiene 13 bandas de ecualizador. Tiene el... okay. Bueno.
Really?
Yeah.
10 okay? Is that even a word? All right, you just left them hanging. I know you did. All right. Alright, so anyways, it's got the EQ, back arrow. It's got a balance and fader. It's got the mute level. It's got rear speaker on and off. The reason why it has rear speaker on and off real quick is for that dual zone capability. That way you can turn off the speakers in the rear if the kids have the headphones on and are watching a movie. You can also turn on and off the subwoofer for the same reason. It has speaker level control for all 5 corners of the car. That allows you to adjust. It has a crossover, front, rear, and sub. It has listening position, so you can tell it where you're sitting in the car. And then down here where you see this auto EQ, that was for the microphone that is hiding behind the screen. We'll open that back up again just to show it to you. This is right here. Do you know the model number on that?
MC20.
It's an MC20. That's right. You can pick that up on Amazon for about 20 bucks. Why they don't just give it to you is beyond me. Got anything to catch them up with?
Ok, so recuerden que tiene el crossover. Tienes el ecualizador, 13 bandas de ecualizador. El subwoofer control. El nivel de cada bocina para que tú puedas subir, bajar a cada nivel. El high pass, el paso alto y paso bajo. Y el subwoofer.
Wow, that was almost hard. That was straining for me.
High pass, claro.
Yeah, high pass. Alright, so that's the EQ. So now that we have all that done, let's talk about the navigation, shall we?
Awesome.
So navigation is kind of a funny subject anymore. A lot of people are thinking, oh, I have my phone, I can use this for navigation. Why would I be interested in something like this that has full navigation? The answer is simple. This uses data. These don't always have perfect reception. Certain portions you might not get any reception at all. Therefore, if you're trying to use GPS, you're pretty much SOL. And if, you know, at the end of the day, if you're really trying to rely on something, you need to get from point A to point B, and you need a map to show you how to do it, you need a navigation system to do that. Now, these particular navigation systems come with Total Traffic Network.
Total Traffic
Network. Now, what that does is it uses Clear Channel's FM band, and they have 90 major cities that are hooked up.
90. Ok, so recuerden que este tiene total tráfico, el tráfico total, y trabaja con más de 90 ciudades en USA, right?
Yes.
En Estados Unidos.
And Puerto Rico and parts of Mexico and Canada.
And?
Yeah, you heard all that. Okay. Anyways, what it'll do is it'll give you real-time traffic, just like on your phone. They use the Here Maps, which is basically Maps for Life. What that means is within 45 days of purchase, you can upgrade. If there's an update to the map system, you can go to here and you can update your maps for free for the first 45 days.
Ok, so si en realidad lo compras, desde el día en que tú lo compraste a 45 días, tú puedes actualizar los mapas de gratis.
Now, because here is such a huge company, there is 7.9 million points of interest in this radio.
So, porque en realidad es demasiado, lo que lo utilizan es 7.9 millones de personas que en realidad utilizan el radio.
Now you say, how is that even possible? Well, it has a 16 gigabyte memory chip in here that stores all that data.
Ok, eso tiene 16 gigabytes de memoria que en realidad contiene para todos los mapas y todo eso.
Exactly. Now, one other thing, or actually 2 other things I want to talk about real quick before we actually get to the mapping system. It has speed limit warning, which is really annoying. We'll go ahead and show you how to shut that off. And also, it has 3 views for the map.
Ok, so tiene 3 distintos tipos de vista para los mapas.
And those 3 views are going to be 2D heads up, 2D north up, and 3D view.
So, so en realidad es 2D, 3D y ED.
3D view.
Okay.
That's good. They know what that is.
Okay.
Everyone knows what 3D is.
Show me now.
Show me now. Okay, so when you first power up a unit, this is what you're going to see. Now, if you've had it installed, you may want to go back and fix some of this because, for example, you might want to change the language. So in here we have English Indian, we have English UK, we have English Espanol, French. God, I can't say French for some reason. Anyways, there's a ton of languages to choose from. Alright, so we'll move forward. This is the big warning screen. We're going to hit accept. Please take a moment to set it up. We'll hit next. Now, this is the default. So if the installer put it in, chances are they just pounded away and got it through. But you're going to want to go back and change it, personally anyways. And you're going to want to look for something that says TTS. That stands for text to speech.
Ok, so recuerden que en realidad asegúrate que lo pongan en donde dice TTS, que es para que en realidad te diga calle por calle.
Exactly. Now, we're going to switch it to English.
Have a nice trip. Drive carefully.
Now what she's going to do is she's going to talk to you and say the name of the streets. So they have English USA, TTS, they have Espanol. Basically every language has a TTS. So you're just going to want to pick your language. Now these are options you can set up. So you can change temperature. So for example in the US we want to change it to Fahrenheit. We want to add in a currency if we want. We'll hit next. Now these are going to, this page, route preference, is going to be what you're willing to drive on. So for example, do you want to pay tolls? If you don't, you can turn it off.
Ok, so esto lo que te ayuda es que si en realidad pagas alguna caseta o cualquier cosita, pero si no, tú puedes apagarlas o prenderlas, depende como tú quieras.
Exactly. Alright, so we'll go over here, we'll click next, and we'll click finish.
We're ready to go.
We're ready to go. Alright, so now, if you'll notice right here, this one's giving us some 3D mapping. Now not every city has 3D mapping. Right now this is in probably Los Angeles or something like that, so it's going to give you 3D mapping. Okay, so how do I go somewhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
As you'll notice, we talked about 3D earlier. We can switch this to 2D, and we can switch it to 2D north up. So go ahead and tap that back to 3D. Click that. How do I go somewhere, right? Alright, so we'll click this guy right here. Close that. Select. Nope. Damn it. Alright, we want to find this icon right here. We'll tap that. Alright, so we got new route planner, traffic, useful information, settings, and about. Now, let's go to settings for a second, just real quick. And we're going to go to warnings. Right over here where it says speed warnings, we're just going to go and turn that disable. Alright. Now that'll make it stop going, slow down, you're going too fast, slow down. Alright, so now we'll go back in here and we can click a new route. And you have address, points of interest, saved locations, coordinates. So you get the idea. For the most part, it is just like any other nav that you've ever used. And if you've never used a nav, come on, really? We appreciate you sticking with us and for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or anything like that, please feel free to add them in the comments. We'll get back to you. Just give us some time. We do this a lot.
Yes.
Stay tuned for more videos. You can find us where?
On YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram.
Wow, it just rolls right off the tongue, huh? Alright. Have a good night, and we'll see you next time. Bye!